How do most organizations view visualizations? I mean, are they outliers rather than essential business tools?
Hey, Mac, I think that's really going to be the kind of make or break question about visualization going forward, because you'll have some organizations that look at it as more of a way just to turn their numbers into pictures. And there's definitely value in that. They'll get some incremental value. But other organizations that look at it as disruptive to their business and how they run every part of their business, they're going to look at how they can integrate visualization into every part of their work. And what's important about that is it will also tie into every decision that they're making. And I call that the decision-driven organization, and I think it's a powerful change that's coming.
Why should visualizations be thought of as products? What's the benefit that comes from that mindset?
I think it's actually pretty simple, because most of what people do today isn't really working. So if you think about the visualization practitioner, and someone comes and asks them for a report, and then they have no idea who's using it, when they're using it, how much they're using it, what they like, what they don't like. You kind of get the idea about that. And what's interesting is those are really all product marketing problems. So if you take a bit of a shift and look at those people instead as customers who are buying a product that you are building, and that lets you think about your job in a very different way, because now you can say, well, I could use lean product methods to build my visuals. I could set up training programs. I could put a marketing program in place. That's a pretty exciting idea that I've been working on with some of my customers, and it actually really works well.
So just reconceptualizing it that way starts to open up the opportunities, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Now, some visualization creators also release the underlying data set. Is that a best practice? I mean, is that something that you would recommend always happens, or should that only be on certain cases?
Well, I think always is like saying never.
Okay, sure, right.
It's probably don't want to say that.
It's somewhere in between.
It's somewhere
there,
in between. But I do have an idea that I talk to people about, which is that data has zero value sitting in your database.
Sure.
And that the value that you can create from your data, the value that you can create for your business is proportional. It's really tied to the number of people that can touch your data, access the data, and use that data. So I definitely think that you need to have more openness about data, but obviously there's considerations that certain companies are going to make when they do that.
Last question for you. Which organizations are doing visualizations well? I mean, whose work should be emulated?
That's great. There's obviously a lot going on. When I look out there, there's two things I think about. One, did they make the important information obvious to me in the visualization? And two, did they make it easier for me to make a decision? That's what I'm really concerned about. And one interesting company out there is Hipmunk. I think they're really doing it well because they take all that complex airline information and turn it into a simple picture that lets me choose what flight I want to go on. And it's funny, I showed it to a friend recently, and he had kind of an aha moment because he travels a lot. And when he saw the screen, in about 1 second, he said, wow, this is exactly what I need. This is great. So that's definitely success.
Sure.
And then there's also companies out there like Tableau Software who are making it easy for people to create the visualizations because they are building the best practices into the software so that I'm immediately getting great results. That's important because it frees up my time. Now I can do analysis, and of course, I can be making more decisions, and so I also consider that a success.
Great. Well, thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it too.